law. We have sexual and gender-based violence. These are violence against women and persons, irrespective of your gender. She is here to educate us. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone out there watching us live. We want to say thank you for inviting us, and we are grateful for being here to talk about the VAP law, Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law.
Thank you. As we all know that the present administration of Governor Seyi Makinde derives interest, utmost interest, in the welfare and well-being of women in the state. Hence, the essence of this particular law, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. Madam, can we enlighten us what this particular law indicates or what it means?
Okay, so let me begin by saying that before we came to the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law for your state year 2020 that we call the VAP law, years back, especially in 2006, there was a law called Child's Right Law, and that law helps us to protect children in Oyo State and children in Nigeria living in Oyo State. So when that law came into existence, to the glory of God, it was during, I think, the tenure of Governor Adebayo Lawakala, who was the governor at that time, and the House of Assembly then domesticated that law. And so at that time, Oyo State became one of the, states that had domesticated that law, the Child's Right Law. And then some organizations, some NGOs, CSOs came together to see how that law can be enforced, to see how the rights of children can be protected. So I think that was where we started, apart from the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that also provides for the fundamental human rights of every citizen. Having said that, after that law, we came to also have violence against women's law. When that law came into existence as well, it also gave us an opportunity for women's rights to be protected. But in some quarters, we started, getting some feelers that a lot of people were not happy. Of course, owing to the fact that also Nigeria also domesticated the law, Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law, of course, some years ago in the country. But when that law came into existence in the country, there was a need to domesticate. And so that was what the Ninth Assembly did. Of course, the Chairman House Committee on Women Affairs, Honorable Olawumi Oladeji, who is equally, the only female honorable in the House of Assembly, in collaboration with the Honorable Speaker, the Speaker, Right Honorable Debo Ogundoyin, brought this law to existence by looking at the national law and domesticating in such a way that it will work for your state. And so that process was a long process, actually. NAWOJ was involved, Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, which I am the chairperson. We were involved. We took part in the, putting together of that law. During the airing, we were invited. Our input was brought before the House, and it was also effected. So it wasn't a one-man's law. It was our law. It is our law that we put together. Now, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law is one law that is gender-friendly. The law gives opportunity to every gender to be represented. In that law, you find issues of female genital mutilation, which affects women. You have issues involving rape. You can rape a male, you can rape a female. You also have issues about abandonment in that law. You have domestic violence. You have battery. You have political violence. So it's not just about the family. You also have, political violence. You also have stalking. You have all forms of psychological, physical abuse, all in that law. So what that law tries to do is to say, look, you cannot violate somebody. Irrespective of whoever that person is, you cannot violate anybody. So that law protects every citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria living or in Oyo State. So having said that, that law is a very big law, laudable law. Let me also use this opportunity to commend His Excellency the Governor of your state, Engineer Seyi Makinde, because it was during COVID-19. In fact, before his tenure came in, the family court was being rebuilt. At that time, Oyo State was the only court in Oyo State. Oyo State was the only state that didn't have a functional family court. Now, what was at the forefront of calling on His Excellency to help us get a family court? His Excellency ensured that that court came into existence. And today, we have a family court in Oyo State.
In Oyo State.
We don't only have a family court in Oyo State. As I speak to you.
And it's functioning.
Oh, fantastic court. I've been there many times to see some cases and see how the hearing is going on.
Okay.
Let me also give kudos to my Lord Justice Abimbola Mukhtar, the CJ of Oyo State, Chief Judge. He also worked hard to see that court came to limelight. And you will also recall that even His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde commissioned that court during the COVID-19 pandemic. You also recall that was when we had most rape cases. But you see, it's one thing to have a law. It's another thing for implementation and enforcement. So we now have a law. The stage we are is implementation, sensitization, and enforcement stage.
Okay, madam. So now you are the sensitization and the enlightenment stage.
Enforcement. So let me tell you some of the things that are being done in that area.
Where do you take your sensitization programs to?
Okay, so we have some partners who have been working with, Nawaj has been working with over the years. Westminster Foundation is one of those, of course, NGOs.
They are Oyo State based.
They are based in Abuja, but they brought their, their strength, their resources to Oyo State. Okay. They are working with a lot of NGOs and CSOs. In fact, as we speak, they're in Oyo State. Okay. In fact, let me also let you know that I also got a wind that they are not only in Oyo State at the moment, they are in Oyo State to tell us that they have moved forward by providing an abridged version of the law that we're talking about. Okay. And in fact, they expect us to all pick a copy. So in this stage of sensitization that we're talking about, what they expect us to do, like I said, that law is now in Yoruba, in English, and in Braille. So it means that law can be read by persons that are blind.
Okay.
That's how far they have gone. They have also provided the Yoruba copy, and we have the English version of that law. So, and by God's grace, tomorrow they're going to be presenting that law to all of us tomorrow. So let me say that the sensitization stage is one of what you are doing today.
Yeah.
We talk about it. We go to marketplaces. For instance, Nawaj, in collaboration with UNFPA Nigeria, I beg your pardon, United Nations Population Fund and CPRH, Center for Population and Reproductive Health. We are working with local government information officers at 20 local government areas in Oyo State. And what are we doing? In collaboration with CBOs. CBOs are community-based organizations. And we're going to the grassroots to talk to people in marketplaces, in churches, in mosques, within the community leaders, association, gather them together, talk to them, enlighten them about this law. That there's a law in the state that protects the rights of everybody. And that's the stage where we are. So implementation. Well, let me also say that my Lord Justice Adeyo at the family court has been using that law from the first day it was assented to by His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde. It's being used at the family court. It's being used as an instrument of law. And I tell you, with this law, many homes have been rebuilt because now a man knows that you cannot batter your wife. Is violation. Anyhow. You cannot even batter, not anyhow. Okay. You're not allowed to raise your hand on your wife.
Against your wife.
Yes, you're not allowed to force your wife to have sex. It must be with consent. So you cannot just say, because she's my wife, I have paid her dowry, then I must have sex. No. It must also come with consent. Without consent, it is rape. That law also say that, look, as a father, you cannot abandon your children. So many parents abandon their children, like a child that we picked up around 10 p.m. Under the bridge of Babala Canal. We had to pick that child from the canal. And you could see that this child...
He was abandoned there?
Abandoned. Wow. Demoralized. And that child, as I speak with you, is also suffering from trauma. So let me say that I must give kudos to the Ministry of Women Affairs. I must give kudos to His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde, because they have there's a network of NGOs, and there's Oyo State Rapid Response Team, where if someone is violated, you can call their numbers. When you call, they will immediately swing into action. The closest NGO to that place will go there and rescue. And I want to give kudos to the DPO of Agugu Police Station, who also joined us to do that, the process of rescuing that child. He was there. So I give kudos to Nigerian Police Force, of course, Oyo State Police Command, for also contributing the quota and ensuring that we get success in such cases. So, family abandonment. Some men will just abandon their family. They don't care if they eat. They don't care if they drink. They just abandon the children, and then you see children walking on the street, not because their parents send them, but because they're looking for a living. A lot of street children, trafficking in persons, trafficking in children is unacceptable. Is a violation of their fundamental human rights.
Yeah, VAP law. As a woman, how do you think this particular law will be enforced? And there's some women that are dying in silence. Some are feeling ashamed. They are feeling intimidated to come out to tell you that this is happening to me in my home. Like yesterday or day before yesterday, a woman was saying, "Shebi iyeti nǹkan tó lágbára náà ló ń ṣe." As in, the husband, he doesn't have much, you understand? And she's now said, okay, if you say I should come and report now, shebi nǹkan tó ní náà ló ń ṣe. What of those women that are not well enlightened about this particular law? Because some might just be hearing, they might just be listening to the programs, they might not even understand the rudiments, the in-depth knowledge of this particular law.
Okay, so
as a wife to a man, okay, when your husband is not taking care of you, you can come out to report to an agency.
Well, let me first and foremost clarify a few things.
Okay.
So there are two things. Does the man have? Okay. If the answer is yes, then why is he not providing for the family? That's where this kind of law can begin to work.
Okay.
But where the man does not have, is he ready to work? Because you also have
do
cases.
Something.
Yes. You also have cases of men who are not willing to work. They just want to be fed by their wife and their children.
They become liability.
Yes, to their family. So if you are a man, you must be responsible for your family. And I want to use this opportunity to tell upcoming women, mothers, please, before a man can put you in the family way, make sure you are properly married to him. That is one of the challenges we are faced. Because again, some of this law may not work when you are not married to a man.
Yes.
You are not married to a man and then he batters you. Yes, we can begin to treat the issue of battery, but you won't be treated as husband and wife.
Husband and wife.
Except if my lord, who is the presiding judge of that particular case, uses his or her discretion, the court's discretion. So you must ensure that you are properly married to a man before you engage. And let me let you know that even while a woman is saying a man is abandoning me, are you also playing your role in the family?
As a woman.
As a woman.
And as the wife.
We have seen some cases of some men who have the money, who provides for the family, but the women are not ready to do it. Yoruba will say, so we have a lot of challenges in our society. That if you look at it, a lot of man-made problems that are killing our society.
But now, what if the problem is coming from the wife? I've heard a case of a woman battering her husband. How do you handle that?
Okay, I remember that there was a case the family caught some time ago, and the wife was the one battering the husband. So this is how it works. For instance, if a man is the one battering his wife, and the court calls them to order to resolve the matter,
okay,
the court will tell them to go and come back at a later date. They'll give them a date. When they come back, the court will assess and see, okay, since the last time you left, has this matter been resolved? Are you better together? The court has a right to mediate and resolve issues. Okay. Now, where the court sees that resolution, is not possible.
Yes.
Now, the court now warns the man, go back home but don't beat your wife again. We've seen cases of a man who will say, if I go back, I will beat her up. I will beat her. So, in such cases, Now, the law believes that the home is a matrimonial home. It does not belong to the man.
anyone.
It's a matrimonial home. It's for the children. So if it is the man that does not want to stay that is making trouble, the court will tell him to pick his clothes and leave. Yes, that's what the law
Leave
does.
the house.
If it's the woman, if at that particular case we're talking about, my law told the woman to pack her things and leave.
And leave. And leave the children
You
with
leave
the husband.
Yes. Because the law will also consider, you see, before the courts can leave children with husband or with wife, the court, that must be done in the interest of the child. That the law is always, the court is always conscious of that. So what is the interest of the child? So if the child stays with the father, will the child's need be cared for? If the child stays with the mother, will the child get a good living? Will the child be protected? Those are some of the things that the court tries to look at in such cases.
So now, how far have you gone in these sensitization programs?
Okay, so we have started, like I said, we have a lot of partners.
Because you need to get to the downtrodden, I mean to the grassroots, to those people that needed this law. You understand? Because there's some women in the, I wouldn't like to use a name. You know, there's in the core areas. Have you got it to those people?
That's what the United Nations Population Fund is doing in partnership with CBOs, a community-based organization, and in partnership with Nigeria Association of Women Journalists. And like I said earlier, our information officers are also working hand in hand with them at the grassroots to, you know, embark on this sensitization. I can also let you know that, let me let you know that even at the grassroots, they have gone as far as going to the grassroots. Some of those places they went, okay, for instance, we're working in Afijo local government at Ibadan's northwest, in Oyo, yes, Ibadan northwest, Ibadan southwest. We're also working in Ido local government. We are working in Iwajowa. We are working in Ibarapa Central. We are working in Ibarapa East. We are working in so many, about 20 local governments. And there's not how you work in those local governments, you will not get to them. And a lot of it also involve market sensitization. If I got to a point, some of our information officers said, but you say it's a one-day program. But the CBOs are doing, some of them are doing 3, 4. In fact, there's one of the CBO who worked in Akinyele local government and said because she had been working before in Ibadan North, still said she wanted to go to Ibadan North to work for sensitization. So it's about being passionate. A lot of NGOs are passionate about these things because when some of these issues happen, they are the grassroots. They see what people are going through. Women are going through. And let me tell you, some of these cases fall out of violation or violence against person. The fallout is that we have a lot of street children. Children who are out of school. That's why you see they say Nigeria is one of these countries that have highest number of out of school children. Or your state is not left out. So these are some of the fallouts. So we need to understand that we take the bull by the horn. We shouldn't wait for violation. Let people know that you cannot violate somebody. So if you know that you cannot live for the rest of your life with this one, please leave her alone. Don't marry her in the first place. But once you have married her, also know that you have to, keep finding a way around issues. Don't marry this man in the first place because of his money. When you know that this man, I'm sorry to say, maybe you feel that he's not handsome enough for you.
Okay.
Don't even marry him so that you don't marry him, have 2 children, and then you want to marry another one and after some time. It's so rampant in some part of this country. You see a woman, she's married to this man today, the next time she's married to another man, after that one she's gone to another one, and then she will have like 10 children for different men. Oh my God, that's not good. We must leave good legacies for these children because all the 10 children, we believe that's a good life to live, except for some of them that might be fortunate.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Agbasoke. Ìdàgbàsókè àti jí ilẹ̀ ti mọ́ kí o ń ṣọmọ kékeré mọ́. When do you call me smally? I tell you say I know be dolly. Ọlọ́run tó rí irin nílẹ̀ tó fi ṣọba nínú igbó. Èmi jù ní bàbá mo ti fẹ́ kó tọ́ba orin. Òwe lọ̀rọ̀ wáyé kádà rẹ̀ dákò máa dọ́là. Àyànmọ́ òkòkùn mo ní orílẹ̀ lẹ́jọ́. And mama won't stop me say I go go. Ìdàgbàsókè yìí dé mo wá sórí rẹ̀ bá mi yọ̀.
Ọgbà tí àṣejìná lòdì ìrànjẹ làwọn aláṣejòkòtì tí wọ́n fẹ́ máa jẹ ọba ni wọ́n ṣe gàyà díẹ̀ ná ìlú ló láṣẹ ẹjẹ́ ìlú ó jẹun náà ìdí nìyí tó fi jẹ́ pé ẹ̀tọ́ ìlú là ń fowó ìlú ṣe nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ̀rí bí ní ètò ẹ̀kọ́ wa ṣe ń jògeere LAUTECH ti di tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé bíi 40 ló ti wẹ̀wọ̀ ọ̀tún pẹ̀lú àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tòun tòògùn àti irinṣẹ́ tó pójú owó iṣẹ́ sì ti fẹ́ẹ̀ parí pẹ̀lú lórí 100 míì jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ààbò tó dájú òun ohun amáyédẹrùn ní ìṣokùnfà ìdásílẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá láwùjọ òun náà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ fi wà nípò kẹta nínú àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tí ń pawó wọlé jùlọ lábẹ́lé nílẹ̀ wa ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀dọ́ ló ti láǹfààní ẹ̀kọ́ṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ lọ́nà ti gbàlódé táṣeyọrí yóò sì jẹ́ kó ń jẹ́ sùn wá bọ̀ láìpẹ́ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àtòṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ń gbowó wọn lásìkò pápá àṣírí Adámàsìngbà àtàwọn inú ojú pópó tí ń sòrú dọ̀sán ńkọ́ àwọn ìlú ti sọ pásì ìwádùn níṣèjọba yìí fi ń mọ rírì gbogbo àwọn aláṣẹ gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ló ń sọ fún wa pé pẹ̀lú ìṣọ̀kan wa oòrùn tó kù lókè yìí ó táṣọ ọgbẹ.
Ilé-iṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà ohun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're welcome back. This is Aloore Radio, transmitting from the GSM studio, Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Secretariat Agodi, Ibadan, Oyo State. We are still on the program, My Impact, with Comrade Jadesola Ajibola. We are discussing the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law, recently signed into law by the Governor of Oyo State in 2020. Madam, Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. How do you think this particular law could be enforced in the court of law?
Well, you know the court has jurisdiction.
And has there been any record of such?
Yes, there are records of implementation of the law in the court. I remember we went with a woman to the court. The husband was violating her, and we went with her to the court. And my lord did mediated. The woman said, "Look, I love my husband. I don't want my home torn apart." And so that she just wants him to be warned. And the man was warned. Well, after 1 week, we didn't hear from the woman again. So we're wondering, kilo to shele. And then we had to call her, and then she told the lawyer, because we have a lawyer that we work with, so that can guide us on some of these issues. And the lawyer called, and she said, "I want Shoni Lawani." So you see the power of the law. So because my lord told the man, because the way the one explained how he was battering her. My lord told the man, he said, "Since you know how to batter, I would like to send you to Agodi prison for 3 days.
To go and batter those...
Go and batter, criminals there." And the man said, "My lord, I'm sorry." So sometimes people need to see the reality of what they're trying to work into.
But there are some radicals.
There are ways to also handle the radicals.
Okay.
There are ways to handle them. It's the jurisdiction of the court. Once the court has jurisdiction on the case, it is the right of the court to determine, looking at the case, and then with their own discretion, they put the decisions forward, and then they also consider, especially cases of marriages that involve children, they always consider. Like recently, we got discussing about issues around unwanted pregnancies from teenagers, and then someone said, "Look, if you say that these children are being violated, pregnated, so if you now take the man and send him to prison, who will take the responsibility of the girl and the baby he impregnated?" But do you know that in most cases, the men are not ready to take up that responsibility?
They are not.
And some of us have brought solutions to the table. We have said, look, there are a lot of married men who still chase after these small girls. They give them 5 naira, 10 naira, and then they sleep with them. So for us, let these men do vasectomy. When they do vasectomy, they are still active sexually. They can have erection. They can have sex with a woman. The only thing is that you cannot pass sperm to the woman. So it will reduce unwanted pregnancies. But men are not ready to do vasectomy.
But what of men that are still looking?
They should please close their eyes and stay with their wife and concentrate on the family instead of impregnating young girls out there. You'll be surprised. Some women, their husband have wives and concubines
and children out there.
You've had cases of a man who is married, the wife, they're doing well, and then the man will sneak out, just tell the wife, I'm on the party or Remicon. He's going for a wedding with another woman.
Wow.
They will do naming ceremony.
That's serious.
For another woman. And the wife in the house would not know.
No.
Some that even know what would they do. It's a man's world in Africa. So that's the place of this law. This law has a role to play.
Okay, what role will this law play in such?
Okay, so for a man to be legally married to a woman, it is illegal to marry another woman, and there is punishment under the law. You cannot marry two women legally. It's not possible, and that's why our young girls must insist. You want to marry me? Take me to the courts. Let's go and do registry. Take me to the church. Take me. Let's do nikai. Make it legal. So when the man is married, I'm sorry, let me just mention it. I remember the case of a man that I know very well. He's married to his wife at home. I only discovered one day that he was also he was the owner, because the lady in question, I own a school, so the lady in question happens to be my staff.
Okay.
So when I said I needed a teacher, the person recommended the young lady. So one day I looked at the boy the lady used to bring to school as her daughter, her son. And I said, come. I had to call her into my office privately. And I asked, I said, madam, where is the father of this boy? I said, no. Who is the father? I said, this boy looks like my friend. Yes. He was running away, or he vomited the boy.
Wow.
So when she didn't want to talk, I had to go and meet my friend. I said, what? You cannot deceive me. This boy is your son. And I said, no. I said, you're not all right. How would you tell me a boy that looks like you, his stature, physically and everything, that he's just looking like you? Who does that in this century? Eventually, guess what I found out? He was legally married to the girl. And he has a wife legally married at home.
Again?
Yes. Oh. So if that matter gets to court, it's a violation. You can't marry two women at the same time.
What will you do? What will the court of law do?
There's punishment in the law. There's law that there's punishment.
Okay.
And the punishment, I'm sure if there's prison, he or she will go to prison. You can't be married to two legal, three legal wives at the same time. And that's why you see that at the registry, they will post name for 21 days.
21 days.
So that
Objections.
Yes, objections. But of course, you should know that the wife at home does not even know, is not aware that the husband has another wife outside. God will help us. Amen. With due respect to all the men out there.
Violence against persons prohibition law. Òfin tí gómìnà wa ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tán ṣe ìbọwọ́lù ní ọdún tó kọjá ni. Gẹ́gẹ́ ọdún méjì sẹ́yìn, okay, 2022. Òfin yìí òun náà ni àlejò wa náà sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Violence against prohibition, against persons prohibition law. Ẹ bá wa sọ ní èdè Yorùbá fún àwọn tiwantiwa tó wà nílé.
Ó dá mo tún kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ará lílẹ̀ kan sí ètò náà ní àwa lórí ẹ̀ yìí à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa violence against persons prohibition law. Òfin ni nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tá a gbé kalẹ̀ ní ọdún 2020, ọdún méjì sẹ́yìn ní December. Agbóríyìn fún àwọn ìṣòfin wa látòrí speaker wa Right Honourable Debo Ogundoyin, torí Honourable Wunmi Ọládèjì tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ni wọ́n ṣe àkójọpọ̀ òfin yìí. Kì í ṣàwọn nìkan ni màá tún gbóríyìn fún. Màá gbóríyìn fún àwọn àwọn civil society organization àwọn NGO
tó tẹ́wọ́ gbà
kì í ṣe pé wọ́n tẹ́wọ́ gbà àjọ ṣe òfin yẹn ni àjọ ṣe ni so kì í ṣe pé àwọn nìkan náà dédé gbé òfin yẹn kalẹ̀ pé ó yá ẹ lọ máa ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí àjọ kọ́ ni àjọ àwọn ibi tá a rò pé kò yẹ kó wà ń bẹ àjọ yọ kúrò àjọ fi sí ni so agbóríyìn fún àwọn aṣòfin wa ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí tí wọ́n gbóríyìn fún ọlọ́lá jùlọ gómìnà wa àmójú ẹ̀rọ Ṣèyí Mákindé torí pé wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gómìnà wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ gómìnà wa ni wọ́n ṣe iṣẹ́ takuntakun ẹ rí i pé bí wọ́n ṣe parí òfin yìí làwọn náà buwọ́lù pé ó ti di
wọn ò jẹ́ kó tutù
rárá
torí pé ìfẹ́ àwọn obìnrin ó jọba lọ́kàn
kì í ṣe ìfẹ́ àwọn obìnrin ìfẹ́ àwọn
ará ìlú
nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àwọn náà ó dá mi lójú pé nígbà tí wọ́n wà lélẹ̀ nìkan gbọ́ pé ọmọ ọdún mẹ́ta kan ni wọ́n fi bá lò pọ̀ inú wọn tún bàjẹ́ wọ́n wá gbọ́ pé òfin kan wà tí àwọn ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ṣe tí ó máa bárò àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ wí kíákíá ni wọ́n buwọ́lù agbóríyìn fún ẹ má jẹ́ ń dúró lórí yẹn nìkan ó ní àwọn ministries tí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ̀ka ilé ìjọba tí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ bíi Ministry of Women Affairs Ministry of Justice gbogbo wọn jọ kórìjọpọ̀ láti ṣe ni mi ìwà tún ní dádúró ń bẹ̀ máa tún lọ sórí judiciary wa àwọn náà ti ń lo òfin yìí ní kóòtù mọ̀lẹ́bí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti ń lò ní kóòtù mọ̀lẹ́bí ta ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ó wà ní Ìyágànkú lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ magistrate court kò jìnnà sí magistrate court ibẹ̀ ló wà
ní Ìyágànkú
ibẹ̀ ni kóòtù náà wà ṣé wàá rí òfin yìí kò fàyè gba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan àkọ́kọ́ kò fàyè gba ká máa fipá bá ni lò pọ̀ kò fàyè gba kí ọkọ kó máa lu ìyàwó ẹ̀ àbí kí ìyàwó máa lu ọkọ ẹ̀ torí a gbọ́ pé àwọn ọkùnrin kan wà àwọn obìnrin kan wà tó máa ń lu ọkọ wọn wọ́n á lù wọ́n á jókòó lé lórí ẹ má jẹ́ àsọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀ lórí ẹ̀ a tún rí i pé òfin yìí kò fàyè gba bóyá bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wà yín sìn kí máa ṣọ́ yín lọ́wọ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ tó lóyìnbó pè ní stalking kí máa ṣọ́ yín lọ sí ilé ibi tẹ́ ń gbé kí máa ṣọ́ yín lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára kí máa ṣọ́ yín lọ síbi iṣẹ́
máa gbogbo tẹ́ bá ń ṣe
tí n bá ti mọ̀ kò lè máa kàn ní kí lọ́ọ̀yà mi kó bá mi kọ́ ni kó mu lọ fẹ́ nìyẹn àbí kó kọ́ lọ sílé ẹjọ́ níbẹ̀ ni yóò ń ṣọ́ mi káàkiri òkè ló fẹ́ kò fàyè gbà òfin yóò fàyè gbà kí bàbá kó kọ ọmọ sílẹ̀ kó fi ọmọ àtìyàwó sílẹ̀ kó má tọ́jú wọn kó dẹ́dẹ̀ jọ máa gbé ńlé àbí wọn jọ gbé ńlé òfin yóò fàyè gbà kí ìyá náà kó abandon kó kọ ọmọ
kó má tọ́jú ọmọ
kó
má ṣẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ lórí ọmọ
kò gbà ká máa fi ọmọ ṣòwò ẹrú kò gbà ká máa fi ọmọ ṣe owó nọ̀bì kò fàyè gbà ìpáǹle kò fàyè gbà ká máa fipá bá ni lò pọ̀ oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló wà nínú òfin
ibùn láàrin ọkọ àti ìyàwó
kò fàyè gbà tó bá jẹ́ ẹ̀yin lọ́kọ mi tí mo jẹ́ ìyàwó ẹ lè sọ pé torí ẹ sanwó orí mi lọ́dọ̀ ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ bá mi ní àjọṣepọ̀ kò fàyè gbà.
bó bá yẹ pásìkò yẹn ló wu ọkọ ńkọ́.
á gbé ìyàwó ẹ̀ jókòó ni pé wá babe let's do it jẹ́ àṣẹ kìíní tàn wí tó bá ní kò sáyè pé à nǹkan báyìí ó gbọ́dọ̀ show understanding.
ó fi hàn pé òfin yìí kò tún bá àṣà wa lọ nìyẹn o
torí
pé àṣà wa wọ́n sọ pé ọkọ ló lórí aya ìgbà tọ́kọ bá ti sọ pé ó yá òun náà ló yá.
ìgbọ́n kọ́ sínú àṣà wa
wọ́n sọ pé
ká máa tó kọ́ bá sọ pé ó yá tó ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi àpẹẹrẹ kan hàn yín obìnrin kan ló pè mí jọkàn ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ̀rọ̀ pé kí n jọ báwo ni mo ṣe lè báwọn kí n báwọn dọ́gbọ́n sọ fọ́kọ òun pé lẹ́yìn tóun ṣe CS tóun fi bímọ òun ṣe operation láti bímọ wípé kí n dọ́gbọ́n báwọn jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ òun mọ̀ pé kò yẹ kó tí ì báwọn sùn obìnrin ṣe operation kò tí ì poṣù kan ọkùnrin tún ti fẹ́ kì í mọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ ṣàánú ajé ẹni téèyàn bá ṣe CS ojú egbò yẹn ò lè jiná ibùn lọ́dún kan kò tí ì jiná wọnú wà kò tí ì poṣù kan ó tún ti fẹ́ gùn lé kí ló dé láì ṣẹ̀díẹ̀ ó yẹ ká máa ro tẹnìkejì mọ́ ìfẹ́ kọ́ ìfẹ́ burúkú nìyẹn torí pé ìfẹ́ téèyàn bá ní síyàn tó ń pa ẹnìkejì lára yìí ṣèfẹ́ mọ́ ìkànnì so ó wá yẹ ká máa gbìyànjú láti máa wò pé ó dà gẹ́gẹ́ bá ṣe sọ lẹ́ǹkan lédè òyìnbó pé tí ọkùnrin bá wà tí ò ní owó lọ́wọ́ tí ò lè ṣe fúnnu lé ṣé ó lówó lẹ́yìn lọ́wọ́ ṣé kò fẹ́ ṣe ni a gbọ́dọ̀ máa show understanding fúnra wa a gbọ́dọ̀ dẹrù lẹ́nìkan lórí obìnrin míì iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe á lọ látàárọ̀ adé lálẹ́ á ti rẹ̀ á ti dẹnu kọlẹ̀ nígbà tó bá dé ọkọ ẹni tó bá lọ́kọ bá ní ó yá tó bá ní àdáde ó rẹ̀ mí ẹjọ́ ẹja sọ́dọ̀là ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀bà ní ṣé mi mo kó báyìí ló dá hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́ jókòó lé ó dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé owó díẹ̀díẹ̀ tó mú ẹ̀yìn tó ń di tó ń di tí ìwà sẹ́yìn ṣé òun náà fi ń tọ́jú ilé àwa ni kó jókòó sílé torí pé torí ìbálòpọ̀ ṣé ìbálòpọ̀ yẹn lágbé wọn débi tó ń lọ ni ìbálòpọ̀ yẹn ló máa sọ wọ́n di ńlá ni ó yẹ ká máa gbé wò síra wọn ká máa ṣe ohun tó bá tó àti ohun tó yẹ.
èmi náà ti wá gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ láàrin ọkọ àtaya kan rí tẹ́ pé ọkọ sọ pé ìyàwó ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ pé kó ṣáà jókòó sílé pé torí kọkùnrin míì kó má bàa bá sọ̀rọ̀ ṣé kí ni ipa tí òfin lè kó lórí àárín yẹn ọkọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ o ó dẹ̀ ń tọ́jú ilé níwọ̀n ọba ibi tágbára ẹ̀ mọ́ ṣùgbọ́n wá ní pé ìyàwó yẹn pé tó bá ti lọ ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn èèyàn míì á máa rí wọ́n lè máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ láti bẹ̀ ó ní kó jókòó sílé kí ni òfin lè ṣe lórí àárín yẹn.
ṣé rí ẹ jẹ́ kí n bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí pé kó má jáde torí pé kó má bàbá sọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀ ní orú àwọn ọkùnrin àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wọn ló máa ń wá káyà wọn mọ́lé ẹja fi yẹn sẹ́gbẹ̀ kan ẹ rí i pé ọdọọdún la máa ń máàkì International Women's Day ọjọ́ àyájọ́ àwọn obìnrin lágbàáyé ọ̀pọ̀ ọgbà láti bí ọdún mélòó kan sẹ́yìn ó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa equality ohun tí equality yìí ń sọ ni pé obìnrin lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ lábẹ́ òfin láti máa darapọ̀ mọ́ governance ìjọba àwarawa kóun náà wà nínú ẹ̀ obìnrin lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti lọ dìbò obìnrin lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ sí education eléyìí tó tún wà nínú child's right law òfin àwọn ọmọdé òfin tó ń dáàbò bo ọmọdé obìnrin lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ sí kákàwé nígbà tó bá kàwé ìtàn wọn ni kò gbé sábẹ́ pílò ó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn ló gbé mi padà sórí ọ̀rọ̀ ìbéèrè tẹ́ béèrè tí obìnrin bá kàwé a gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó ṣiṣẹ́ èèyàn ò lè kàwé tán
kò gbé sábẹ́ pílò
kò lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ mo rántí pé ńgbà tí mo wà ní iléèwé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga mo ní lọ́kàn pé mo fẹ́ practice journalism ẹnìkan tí mo kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ ń gbà yẹn ó ní rọ ó lóun ò lè jẹ́ kí n practice mo ní àlè fẹ́ra lóòótọ́ ó pẹ̀lú àwọn reasons tí a fi fẹ́ra dọ́là ṣùgbọ́n ẹni tí mo sọ eléyìí inú ẹ̀ máa ń dùn tó bá rí i pé mo ṣiṣẹ́ mi á máa kí mi ní 9 mẹ́wàá ṣùgbọ́n kò fẹ́ gbà so ká ní pé mo lọ koríbọ̀ kò ní gbà kí n practice á wá jẹ́ pé mo fi gbogbo ọjọ́ ayé mi
monday ìjà wà nínú
kò ní lè wọ́ọ̀kì
so kí wá ló fi máa ṣe láàrin yẹn ẹ tí irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn bá ń ṣe kí lẹ rò pé ìgbésẹ̀ wo lẹ rò pé kó gbé.
ọ̀pọ̀ ọgbà lórílẹ̀‐èdè nàìjíríà pàápàá nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ wa a máa ń sọ pé èèyàn méjì ò lè lọ kóòtù lọ lé ọlọ́pàá àti kóòtù wọn padà wá ṣọ̀rẹ́ ìyẹn ló máa ń ba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa lẹ́rù téèyàn bá nírú situation bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá gbé lọ sí kóòtù mọ̀lẹ́bí tó jẹ́ ọ̀hún náà ní jurisdiction lórí irú ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí wọ́n pe ọkọ yẹn wọ́n wádìí ṣé nígbà míì tẹ́ bá rí ọkùnrin míì tí ò jẹ́ kí ìyàwó ẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ á ní reasons a ní àwọn ìdí pàtàkì.
àti láwọn nǹkan tó nǹkan ti rí.
yàtọ̀ sáwọn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n kàn wá self-centered wọ́n máa ń nídìí tí wọ́n fi máa ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá wá jẹ́ pé ìdí pàtàkì wà fún bẹ́ẹ̀ ó wá yẹ ká rí i pé ká wádìí ká wá ọ̀nà àbáyọ sírú ìṣòro tó lè máa dojúkọ. irú kóòtù yẹn abọ́kùnrin yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n á jẹ́ kó realize pé no jẹ́ kí ìyàwó ẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́
ẹjọ́ máa fọwọ́ kún ọwọ́ ni.
torí ìgbà míì èèyàn mo lè wò pé òun máa lo 100 years láyé ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣàpèjúwe kan fún yín mo lábúrò tán bí lé mi bàbá mi kú ńgbà tí mo wà lọ́mọ ọdún 3 nọ́ọ̀sì nìyá mi 5 péré ni wá ẹjọ́ tí ìyá mi ò bá níṣẹ́ lápá báwo lọ ṣe fẹ́ ṣe torí gbàrà tí bàbá mi kú làwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí bàbá mi náà wá kó gbogbo ẹrù ta nílé wípé gbọ́n àwọn kú títí kan mọ́tò tí ìyá mi fowó ẹ̀ rà wọ́n gbé lọ ilé tí bàbá mi kọ́ wọ́n jogún ẹ̀ tóbìnrin ò bá wá níṣẹ́ lápá kan tó fi gómìnà glory lẹ́ni gbogbo wa la kàwé láyọ̀jú ṣùgbọ́n tó bá jẹ́ torí pé ìyá mi níṣẹ́ lápá ni.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni tẹ́ pé wọn ò ní nǹkan kan táwọn gan gbọ́wọ́lé tó ń ṣe.
kí la fẹ́ ó dẹ̀ mọ́ tójú ìyá mi rí torí pé pẹ̀lú pé ìyá mi níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n pé ó jẹ́ nọ́ọ̀sì yìí gbà wọn gbà kan wà ìyá mi á lọ iṣẹ́ ìjọba náà ṣe wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ ní Lagos State Government nígbà yẹn under the Hospital Management Board ìyá mi á tún lọ ṣiṣẹ́ private nírọ̀lẹ́ tó bá wà ní morning ní government hospital wọ́n á lọ ṣe evening ní private hospital tó bá ṣe afternoon ní government wọ́n á ṣe morning ní private. àbí yorùbá mi ò yé yín.
láti jẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan kó rí jù.
in fact ibi tí ìyá mi wà lánàá dé tí ìyá mi bá gbọ́ pé business kan wà tí wọ́n lè máa ṣe lábẹ́ ilé kéèyàn tún fi máa rí tọ́rọ̀ àti kọ́bọ̀ mú pọ̀ ìyá mi á tún ṣe láti lè rí i pé ajé èèyàn lónìí.
nítorí ń pè lábíamọ náà nìyẹn.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni
gbogbo abiyamọ kọ́lọ́run jẹ́ ká jèrè ọmọ.
àmín.
Lórí nǹkan tẹ́ wá sọ lórí nǹkan tẹ́ sọ pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí yìí gangan tí àwọn ṣé òfin yìí náà ṣó kápá àwọn ẹbí tó máa ń da ìyàwó láàmú tó máa ń yọ ìyàwó lẹ́nu bí atọ́kọ bá papòdà.
Ó kápá wọn gan o kò tiẹ̀ fàyè gbà á mọ́ pé ẹni tí ó bá pàdánù ọkọ ẹ̀ lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti wá jẹ ogún ọkùnrin. Òfin tí ó ti yànnàná gbogbo ẹ̀ gan gbogbo àwọn area tí òfin yìí tó ń rí sí nìyẹn tí ó sọ pé ẹ lè fìyà jẹ opó péyàn jópó kò ní kó má lè gbégbé ayé ẹ̀ péyàn jópó kò ní kẹ́ kó gbogbo ẹrù ọkọ ẹ̀ wọ́n tẹ̀ kẹ́rù ọkọ dà
ọmọ wa ni àwa láàánú
wọ́n ti pọ́n tẹ̀ kẹ́rù dà ìyẹn ló kéré jù nítorí àwọn obìnrin míì máa ń rí tọkọ wọn bá kú àwọn kan wà wọ́n á ní kọ́ lọ fa ògbóró orí wọn àwọn kan wà wọ́n máa ní wọ́n máa bókun yẹn sùn fún ọjọ́ mẹ́ta oríṣiríṣi culture ló wà across the country.
bọ̀ tó bá jẹ́ pé àṣà ìlú wọn ni àbí àṣà
alófin ju àṣà lọ òfin ju àṣà lọ níwọ̀n ìgbà tó fi ti ju àṣà lọ àkànlé dédé bí àṣà kọjá lórí òfin àṣà ló máa mọ bí ó ṣe ṣe rẹ̀ ẹ wo ìròyìn kan wà tá a gbọ́ lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta yìí tó yẹ pé àdúgbò yẹn ṣe ni ẹnikẹ́ni tí wọ́n ní tí èèyàn kan tí wọ́n bá ti fẹ́ ṣọdún kan wà wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ fi èèyàn kan rúbọ wọ́n á yọ páàtì lára wọ́n á fi rúbọ àwọn gbogbo àwọn tó wà lọ mú ẹni yẹn tó náà fi wọ́n rúbọ nínú ìròyìn yẹn wọ́n ní ọlọ́pàá lọ kó gbogbo wọn bó lè ṣe wá mú odindi èèyàn lẹ́ẹ̀pá torí pé ẹ fẹ́ rúbọ.
pé ẹ fẹ́ rúbọ fún ìlú tí.
ọ̀rẹ́ tó tún wá lọ pa yìí ó wá jẹ́ láti ìlú òdì kejì
ló ti wá.
ìlú yẹn àti ìlú kejì yẹn wọ́n dẹ̀ ń jà lórí ilẹ̀ boundary ilẹ̀ wọn ẹjọ́ ogun àtọ̀tẹ̀ mi ò ti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
ọlọ́run akọ wa.
àmín. Ní èdè kúkúrú kí ni àfojúsùn yín lórí òfin tí gómìnà wa ọlọ́lá jùlọ gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé tó ń ṣe bẹbẹ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ kí ni àfojúsùn yín àti pé kí ni commendation yín lórí òfin yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́n ṣe ṣe.
ṣe tẹ̀ rí àwa ní ẹgbẹ́ oníròyìn obìnrin nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àti dáàgọ̀ kan sílẹ̀ tá a pè ní media advocacy mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ gbóríyìn fún kọmíṣánná tó wà ní Ministry of Information Dr. Wasiu Ọlátúbọ̀sún mo fẹ́ gbóríyìn fún un kì í ṣe pé torí pé bí ni mo wà torí pé mo rántí pé ńgbà tí mo fẹ́ díje fún ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì gẹ́gẹ́ bí alága ẹgbẹ́ oníròyìn obìnrin àtọ̀wọ́n wa mo dẹ̀ sọ fún wọn mo ní àáfẹ́ kan fún wa ní ètò kan tí ẹgbẹ́ oníròyìn obìnrin lè máa ṣe níbí láti máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwa obìnrin ara àwọn nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe nìyẹn yàtọ̀ sí Aloore rédíò yìí a tún ní àwọn rédíò míì náà tí wọ́n ti gbà wá láyè media advocacy tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ yẹn ó máa gbà wá láyè láti lè ní àwọn ètò tá a máa ṣe lórí irú violence against persons prohibition law yìí lórí àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú obìnrin tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ọkùnrin a máa sọ lójoojúmọ́ báwo làwọn obìnrin a ṣe lè máa ṣe dáadáa láwùjọ báwo la ṣe lè máa ṣe tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ọkọ wa tó bá rí wa inú wọn á máa dùn a ní máa wò pé torí pé ọkùnrin yóò da igi eléyìí yóò da mo yọ ná eléyìí yóò da mo yọ ná kẹ́ tó mọ̀ wọ́n ti ń ka ọkùnrin 20 fún obìnrin kan kí ló dé ṣé òun nìkan ló wà ládùúgbò ni àwa obìnrin a gbọ́dọ̀ máa kọ́ àwòkọ́ṣe tó dáa àwọn tá à ń gbèrò láti máa àti bẹ̀rẹ̀ àti rí àwọn iléeṣẹ́ rédíò kan tí wọ́n ti fún wa láyè pé ká wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni so tá a bá ti ń ṣe gbogbo eléyìí àwọn ọ̀nà tá a fẹ́ máa gbà máa bá àwọn èèyàn wa sọ̀rọ̀ láwùjọ nìyẹn a dẹ̀ ti gbèrò náà pé ní gbogbo every quarter lóṣù mẹ́ta a máa lọ sáwọn iléèwé kan láti lọ máa bá àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa sọ̀rọ̀ ṣẹ̀rí ńgbà míì wà ilé la ti ń kẹ̀ṣọ́ ròde lóòótọ́ táwọn ọmọ yẹn bá ti mọ ohun tó jẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ wọn ẹ̀tọ́ ilé wọn láti sìn nígbà tó bá rí tí mọ́mí àti dádì ò ṣe dáadáa wọ́n lè máa sọ pé dádì tẹ bá tẹ pamọ́ kìíní tẹ̀ ń ṣe ìyàgò dísúmọ́tò sí o torí nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ pé òfin sọ nìyí.
àwọn gan náà ti máa kọ́ òbí wọn.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni so pàápàá àwọn peacemakers guide Ọ̀yọ́ state náà àwọn náà ní weekend yìí wọ́n máa ṣe peace coach wọ́n fẹ́ kọ́ wọn láwọn ẹ̀kọ́ kan a pè wọ́n ní peace coach wọ́n máa wà ní local government káàkiri tó yẹ pé wọ́n fẹ́ kọ́ wọn nípa òfin violence against persons law yìí kẹ́ bá mọ̀ pé nawoj à ń collaborate à ń bá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ṣe láti rí pé a dẹ́kun ìfipábánilòpọ̀ ká máa dábẹ́ fọ́mọ obìnrin kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ à ń gbìyànjú níwọ̀nba tiwa bó dẹ̀ mọ̀ pọ́lọ́wọ́n ràn wá lọ́wọ́ láti ṣe sí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
àmín ẹ bá wa gbóríyìn fún gómìnà wa láti ẹ̀bù ọwọ́ lù ú torí àìmọye òfin tẹ́ pé gómìnà mi á wò pé ẹ wò eléyìí ẹgbẹ́ sẹ́gbẹ́ kan náà ṣùgbọ́n torí pé ìfẹ́ tán ní sí àwọn ará ìlú wọ́n ti ẹ̀ bá bọ́wọ́ lẹ̀ bá gbóríyìn fún ọlọ́lá jùlọ gómìnà.
ọlọ́lá jùlọ wa gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ engineer Ṣèyí Mákindé lórúkọ àwọn executive members Nigerian Association of Women Journalists award ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gómìnà wa gómìnà tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ ará ìlú gómìnà tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwa obìnrin ó nídìí tí mo tún kàn fi sọ pé wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwa obìnrin torí pé Honourable Ọláwùmí Ọládèjì wọ́n tún ṣe àbádòfin kan náà wípé ká kúrò lórí oṣù mẹ́ta kóbìnrin máa wà nílé fún maternity leave wọ́n sọ ọdún oṣù mẹ́fà gómìnà yìí náà
àwọn náà tún bọwọ́ lù ú.
ṣé wọ́n ṣe sí báàrò wọn ni pé tó bá ṣàtìgbé wá fóbìnrin
kọ́ máa bọwọ́ lù ú. tọ́lọ́gbọ́bìnrin ló bí gómìnà wa ni.
kìkan ṣe obìnrin lásán obìnrin tó tó obìnrin fi yan gan ni wọ́n dẹ̀ kọ́ gómìnà wa dáadáa ó yọ lára wọn ìdí nìyí tó fi jẹ́ pé ẹ rí i pé wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ aráàlú ẹni tó bá rí gómìnà ẹ ti rí i pé ìfẹ́ wà lójú wọn ìfẹ́ wà lọ́kàn wọn torí náà nǹkan a rí i pé wọ́n ṣe dáadáa sáwọ obìnrin nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ kì í ṣàwọn nìkan ẹ má jẹ́ tún kí gómìnà wa nìkan ẹ jẹ́ kí Ministry of Women Affairs torí under Ministry of Women Affairs ní àwọ̀jì wa lórúkọ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ wa àtúnkì kọmíṣánná fún ètò ọ̀rọ̀ tó níṣe pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ obìnrin pàápàá kọmíṣánná wa náà àwọn náà gbìyànjú láti rí i pé gbogbo ohun tó níṣe pẹ̀lú obìnrin ọmọdé wọ́n ń gbárùkù tí gan wọ́n fi nǹkan kan sílẹ̀ láì ṣe ẹ jẹ́ tí wọ́n fi àsìkò yìí náà dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ permanent secretary ministry náà Mrs. Abioye àwọn náà ń gbìyànjú gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní women unit children unit wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun
láti kún
àkí wọn gan ni
ìjọba lọ́wọ́
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun a gbọ́dọ̀ máa kí wọn a gbọ́dọ̀ máa dúpẹ́ ẹni tí wọ́n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn NGOs àti CBOs CSOs lọ́yọ̀ state tó yẹ pé wọ́n rí sọ̀rọ̀ tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú obìnrin àtọmọdé mo kí wọn mo dẹ̀ kí Ọ̀yọ́ State Rapid Response Team eléyìí tó jẹ́ pé Pastor Marcus Williams wọ́n jẹ́ olùdarí ẹ̀ mo kí wọn náà pé wọ́n kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ máa gbé wọn lórí sókè ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fẹ́ fi àsìkò yìí náà tó bẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn ará ìlú ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá rí ọmọ kan tó jẹ́ pé ó kàn rìn gbèrègbèrè ládùúgbò àbí bóyá ọmọ yẹn kò róúnjẹ jẹ kò ní ẹbí tó lè dúró tì ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ń ṣiṣẹ́ ribiribi gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọ yẹn wọ́n ní bó ṣe ń tọ́jú wọn wọ́n á rí pé àwọn ọmọ yẹn ń lọ school wọ́n á rí pé wọ́n fi wọ́n sílé ibi tó ń gbé.
ṣé ní ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tán lè pè sí.
ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wà tí wọ́n lè pè sí ẹ jẹ́ kí n pe ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí jáde sódà gbogbo àwa tí a bá rí pé ọmọ kan wà tí wọ́n fìyà jẹ tí wọ́n fi ṣòwò ẹrú a lè pe nọ́mbà yìí láti lè firú ẹjọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ká fi sùn kì í ṣe pé wọ́n máa lọ mọ́ńtọ̀ wọn ò lù o ṣùgbọ́n àkọ́kọ́ ààbò ọmọ yẹn ló ṣe pàtàkì sí wa tá a bá ti dáàbò bo àwọn ọmọ yìí ọjọ́ ọ̀la orílẹ̀-èdè wa àti ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ó dọ̀wọ́ Ọlọ́run nọ́mbà tí a lè pè sí yìí ẹ má bínú mo sáré wo nọ́mbà yẹn jáde ni torí mi ò mọ lórí ṣùgbọ́n a lè pe nàwọ́ọ̀jì náà nọ́mbà wà tí a lè fi pe ẹgbẹ́ oníròyìn obìnrin ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ gbogbo ẹni máa pè jáde ọjọ́ ti lọ wò nọ́mbà yẹn ni mò ń gbìyànjú àti wá ṣùgbọ́n mi ò tí ì rí ó dà ẹ jẹ́ lọ wò níbi tí ó máa ti yá mi wò. ó dá nọ́mbà náà ni àwọn nọ́mbà Ministry of Women Affairs tẹ́lẹ̀ pé òun ni 090 72 41 40 83 090 72 41 40 83 tàbí 090 72 41 40 84 090 72 41 40 84 ẹ jẹ́ n tún pé nọ́mbà ẹni tó jẹ́ akọ̀wé ẹgbẹ́ oníròyìn obìnrin jáde fún wa torí pé a lè pe àwọn náà tá a bá pe àwọn náà wọ́n á dá sí wọ́n á gba ọ̀rọ̀ wa wọ́n á wo kí gan ni ìrànlọ́wọ́ tá a nílò nọ́mbà tí wọ́n ní 081 20 56 91 90 081 20 56 91 90 àwọn nọ́mbà yìí lè pè láti fi sọ nǹkan tẹ́ bá rí pé ó nílò ìrànlọ́wọ́ ìjọba tàbí tí àwọn èèyàn ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
ẹ ṣe àlejò wa a dúpẹ́ torí pa pè yín torí pé ẹ̀dẹ̀ dá wa lóhùn a rò pé tá a bá tún pè yín nígbà míì ẹ máa dá wa lóhùn torí pé àjọṣe wa ni láti mú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dàgbàsókè àjọṣe wa ni ipa tèmi ipa tiẹ̀ ipa ti gbogbo wa òun náà ló lè mú ìdàgbàsókè tó lóore wá sí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ní orúkọ ọlọ́lá jùlọ gómìnà wa ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ onímọ̀ ẹ̀rọ Ṣèyí Mákindé, kọmíṣánná wa fún ètò ìròyìn àṣà àti ìrìnàjò afẹ́ Dr. Wasiu Ọlátúbọ̀sún àti studio manager mi Mrs. Boyede Ojo, engineer mi náà Dèjì Adéwọ̀nyí, ní èmi Yétúndé Fádípẹ̀ Ọládépò ni mò ń kí pé ó di ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ nígbà tá a tún máa mú àkọ́tún ètò nípa tèmi ipa tèmi fún ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ó dàbọ̀.